Inmate 3 dropped a new single today. It's a soul instrumental drone, and it is fucking vainglorious.
Who was that, sorry?
M83.
Oh, I do like them. They're a great band, eh?
Yeah, they are. That
Yeah.
they
I'll
all
put it
have
in
hydro
Discord.
sense, dude.
Yeah, I'll put it in Discord.
Yeah,
like
their whole live gig is all hydrosynth.
Yeah, dude.
Crazy.
Like desktops and
they
deluxes.
make them sound like old vintage synths. It's amazing what they do with these hydrosynths. They make them sound so good.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Because they've got a real sort of synth wavy kind of vibe about them.
Yeah, they sounded great on KEXP live. I was like, oh my god. Clearly ASM was the sponsor.
Yes. Oh, they'll get all them given to them.
Yeah, that they had to have time with that too. Like that just wasn't. They were probably playing with those things for at least a year before they brought them out.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Meryl, it's a great angle, that one. It's perfect. The studio looks so big now. Yeah, Prom, it's the Osbot. I got myself the Tiny 2. Hi, Vicky. Hello. It's really cool, Meryl. I really like it. Yeah. Apparently, the hot bass thing is the way they actually designed it to dissipate the heat. I'm still a bit dubious about that, but it certainly doesn't seem to affect its functionality anyway. But yeah, there's quite a lot of info from Osbot online about it. That they've had heaps of queries about it from people. But they say no, it is normal. But they are trying to look at ways with firmware to try and cool it down. But they did design it to dissipate the heat out the metal base on the bottom, and that's why the bottom gets so hot. It's like barely holdable in your hand hot, which seems very strange, but yeah, the majority of it's aluminium, Bicky. I think the underneath feels like it's maybe steel. It's probably steel to try and yeah, it'll be definitely a heat sink for the components inside, I would think. But it's very clever, very, very clever. Good idea, Prom. Stick it in a bowl of water. Oh, is it, Bicky? I didn't realise that. I thought steel would be better than aluminium for conducting heat. Right enough, because heat sink, they're usually aluminium, right enough, yeah.
Aluminium.
Aluminium, yeah. Not aluminum. I am, yeah, Meryl, just not yet. I'm just too busy reading the chat and chatting.
Oh, the rabbit's in the house.
Hey, Wabbit.
Okay, yeah, let's bring this in slow.
How's the bass levels?
Play away. Sounding good.
Scottish bastard, you.
I wasn't sure if you were noticing that there.
I noticed right from the start, right on the the uptick.
What effect have you got that mouth organ going through?
The night sky.
The night sky. What you could do so you hear your mouth organ better is remove some of the bass on that night sky channel, what it comes back on, which I think is... let me have a look. Night sky comes in on 9 and 10, I think, on the 16. So you could actually just put the EQ, like take some of the low end off it. So the bass at the bottom of the EQ, just turn that anti-clockwise. On your EQ, which is your blue ones, on 9 and 10, the one that says 80 Hertz, if you turn that down to maybe 9 o'clock, 7 o'clock or 9 o'clock, something like that. So there's 3 on it, but it's the very bottom one. Turn that bottom one down to about... It's maybe actually the send amount that you've got on it's maybe quite hot as well. Yeah, that's sounding a bit better. Yeah, there we go. It's not overpowering your mouth organ anymore.
Just let me know. I'm gonna increase the gain on my mic.
On your harmonica mic, yeah? Okay. Yeah, what you could do is increase the gain on your harmonica mic, but actually turn the send to the night sky down a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Sounding great.
I can't do those nice effects you got, Scotty.
You get pretty damn close with that pedal, though. It sounds bloody great.
I have to find that second note.
That's why I threw it in there. Yay, well done.
You're gonna get me in trouble, Scotty.
I'm getting your fingers sore yet. That's the biggest point.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get all these up under me.
want to do, Scotty, is find one of those like tribal-esque samples with some hand drums and fill in that void. Can you hear it?
Yeah, that's.
We'll probably put it in the wave state, and then I could transfer it into the 505 or vice versa.
Yeah, we could actually just create our own loop. I think would probably be the best bet, so it doesn't sound like anyone else. We just create a loop that you can get in there, and is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Write something for that second little bridge there, Scott. I was kind of go somewhere with that, but we'll sit and figure that part out.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm noticing someone in the chat called Captain Monkey Monger now. Has Jim changed his name?
I think he's doing a Tron VP sort of thing. He's got multiple protagonists.
Or is someone trying to steal his handle?
I think he's running 2 channels now. We could figure out something for this like that. I don't know. Maybe it's that hand drum I'm looking for by itself with this, and we figure out a bridge. Because technically it'd be 3 different portions to this song that changes up.
Yeah. So start off with like the held chord kind of thing with the percussion. Go into a.
Like what you were doing with that drone, and then you were doing the lead
chords and stuff.
Yeah. Because when you took us into this drone lead break.
Oh that was cool.
Yeah, and that was to me that was the best part for this right here.
Yeah, so that was basically just a. It was just a held chord. And then I held it on a different synth as well, but it was a C that I held on the Prophet 12. and then you were doing your thing, Lamar was doing his, and then I was just doing all those.
Yeah. Yes, that. I was just doing that. Right. So with the Hydra on the ARP, I'm gonna take note of this real quick, but with the Hydra ARPing like that,
Yeah.
that drone you just latched, your lead and Lamar articulating on the bass, and with the with this nylon string effect on the 707. Okay, give me a minute. I'm gonna write this down so we don't forget it.
Cool. The thing is, we've always got this stream to look back on as well, remember?
Yep.
Ah, that's true.
Save yourself some ink.
Marilyn, can you
Ink.
relabel this podcast to Seaside, please?
Put a number to it.
Well, it's number 190, but that's not going to help if we don't know what song was actually played. So if you could put Seaside, the first time we've, I don't know how you can label it, but Seaside is the name of the song.
Jesus, we just about played the same thing at the same time there, Lamont. Did you
know.
notice that?
Yeah. I was like, what the fuck is he doing?
It's a bit freaky.
There's only so much room, Scotty.
Starting to explore different string sounds. So keep this going for a minute.
I like that.
Yeah, it's cool. It cuts through really well, but not overpowering. It's had a good frequency range.
What happened to Kent? Is Kent coming in or no?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I've just asked in the chat there to see if he's coming in, but I've not seen him in the private chat anyway. I know he had a busy day today because he was very busy in the pubness.
I got you.
I was lurking on that when I was making patches today.
Yeah, I was cutting the grass, listening.
Same. I'm a lurker.
And I was so chuffed because I managed to get Fiona to throw tennis balls at him for about half an hour. I set her the challenge to see if she could hit him from 40 feet. And all you kept hearing was smack. It was this ball hitting off the patio doors. And she was trying her best. I'll suss out how to fix this. I'm not sure how to do it. I've got it on normal tracking, but it just seems to, when I turn my head away from it, it's just not happy.
So out of this drone section, we'll go and find ourselves right back to the beginning of the song after the strings.
Right, okay. and I'll drop my chords as soon as you've got the drums coming back in again.
Spong, you coming? Got like 25 minutes left. It's enough time for you to get your Spongellis on. Gotcha, Spong.
Yeah, I got a good get rest, Ken. Hope you're better tomorrow, matey.
So you can't.
That's a very cool track, that one. You know that?
Oh, we just got to sit and fucking...
Yeah, it's got such a good feel.
Just mellow in the sustains, man.
It could go so many different directions.
I know. But
most time-
still hold what it's about. That's the good thing. It still
Yeah.
holds what it's about.
Yeah. Even when it starts out, it holds. So to me personally, when we start out, I never really see this part coming. Like that whole different measure of the song.
Yeah.
When the
It'd be
horns
like
coming.
traditional
Right.
bass.
It just takes off to this whole different element. And I'm just it's just a really nice vibe.
Yeah, yeah. It's very, very cool. Like a warm blanket, Dual Tone Magic says. I don't recognise that name, actually. Dual Tone Magic. Welcome in if you've not been here before. If you have, I'm sorry I've not seen you.
I think that's Elytra, Dawless's partner.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, they were here yesterday.
Yeah, I seen a little clip of that last night, actually, but I fell asleep quite quick and then woke up quite late. As you know.
As you know.
As you know. Yeah, I think, well, first, let's make a couple of announcements. So my brother's work is getting busy. My work, I just picked up some crazy accounts just in the past 2 days. The wife is in the most busiest point of her schedule when it comes to shooting movies. They're filming, and so anytime they start filming, it gets increasingly difficult. So we are going to back off on a lot of things that we were doing prior to all of the uptick in our finances and our business. So we will no longer be airing the Ableton album live for those reasons. We're just getting far too busy, and our finances are going to take priority over spending time in the studio and entertaining you folks. So the album will be put on the back burner until we think we can juggle that at the same time. So that will be canceled permanently until we think we should bring it back, or if we should bring it back. We are also going to go back to, for those of you who've watched Symptoms of Reality in our early career here on YouTube, I'm calling it a career. Shit, we've been almost 3 years in. We were much more geared towards podcast, and we were much more geared to bringing up conversations that were out of the box conversations,
Not comfortable to be talked about,
and thought provoking conversations. And we're going to not even slowly, but we are going to transition back to what we really intended to do, and that was to help people, talk to people, and discover things we've never heard of, or the list just goes on and on.
And the big part of it was we used to go out and we called it going out on the field, and we used to interview people. And you could see that in some of the earlier podcasts. We got authentic responses from questions that we would pose to these strangers. And I couldn't tell you how many no's we got to answer the questions. And they're just questions, and versus the yeses.
Right.
I could tell you we got 1,000 no's and only maybe 10 yeses. But the ones that said yes told my brother and I something. Look how few and far we are with those who's willing to come out and share something with themselves compared to those that'll bottle themselves up and shy away from society. And I think that's the stigma we're trying to scratch away, is why are we like this? Why are we so put off when one of our fellow human beings asks us a question that's not your everyday question?
Right.
When we ask a question, who are you, outside of your name, I couldn't tell you how many people couldn't answer that question. No, no one knew themselves other
Right.
than their name.
Some people would answer it
Quickly.
generically,
Right.
and not even take the second to think about what we're asking. And that was something in itself,
Right.
you know? And then we wanted to not only capture the responses, but only, you know, to the facial expressions that these people would put off, and bring that back home, edit it up, and score to it. But we just didn't have the means, and we just didn't have the knowledge musically how to score something like that. And it's funny, when you put yourself on a path, you don't always get to the destination via the same path,
Sometimes you take the long way
you know?
around.
And I think those detours led us here today, to a lot of you people in chat, to Scotty, to essentially everyone who's here in our lives today and who support the channel and what we do. And then there's a time where you have to come off that path to get back on another one, to get to where you really intended to go.
The best part about this path, though, which I think we haven't overlooked, is look how much musical knowledge we gained from it.
Right.
To come back to the path to say, hey, now we have more bullets for the proverbial freaking gun.
Right.
Look what we've learned to come back to score now. Look
Right.
what Kent, Cressy, Scotty,
Yeah.
all these others have taught us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, look what Dyson has taught. Look what a bunch of people have taught us. And maybe that's just a wink from the universe saying, maybe you didn't have enough tools in the shed to combat this goal. So let me detour you and bring you back on track.
Right. It was almost like we were just driving out on the highway in an empty school bus, just
Right.
him and I.
Right.
And when we got back on our true path, now the
School bus
proverbial
is full.
school bus,
It's got kids on it, man.
it's full of people who want to come along and help do this. So we're gearing ourselves to go back to a more podcast type style channel. And that's not to say we're not going to be playing music anymore, but I think we let the music playing and other things
Take precedence. Hold on. Take president.
There you go.
I know,
Kent-
and I know Kent's watching
Yeah,
and you
Kent
heard
hates
that
that.
shit.
So yeah, we're just going to reroute ourselves and get ourselves back to center, and go back to doing the things we love and why we started this channel.
And we got a surprise. S.O.R's got a brand new lifelong family member host, and more on that in the future. And shit, it's gonna be good. We are getting back center, and it's so easy. We were talking about this earlier with Scotty. It's so easy to fall off center. And it's so much harder to recognize when you fall off to get back to center. And I think that's where a lot of people struggle.
Yeah, if you're feeling like your channel is going in a route that you weren't really planning to take, the best thing to do is recenter. And then you may get down the line with that and say, well, these parts that we were doing were good, but we didn't like those parts. To be honest, the recording of the album was going to be a short-term thing anyway, till it was done and then it was going to go. But it has kind of taken precedent over your whole channel for the past few months completely.
Mm-hmm.
And you've kind of got to take your hat off to your loyal viewers, because they sat there and watched the thing from start to finish every night we were on.
Right.
Which is pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it just tells you what they're there for too.
Yeah.
You know, I think most of the viewers, I mean, I can't speak for them, but they're here for more than just the music. They're here because something about us or this show or who we're involved with resonates with them.
Yeah.
You know?
Especially when it's just hours staring at an Ableton screen.
Right.
There's more to a channel than that. And you guys have got more to offer than that as well.
Right.
Yep.
And I was just so stressed out. To be honest, I was just so stressed out with it, you know? And when creating music, I don't think I'm supposed to just be stressed about chat and stressed about learning in front of people, and, you know, because it can climb on you real fast.
Yep.
And then, somebody could be saying like, wow, how do these guys do not know this simple stuff, And to keep going back and reiterating, hey, we've only been doing this for a couple of years. We just don't know. We have different backgrounds. We come from paramedics to law enforcement to farriers, and music has just been late.
It was a hobby.
It was a hobby, and we just fell late to music.
Right.
So I was carrying way too much stress on me with just taking it live, and I don't want to create my album under that condition. Not my first one.
Right.
And I was already on the fence about even creating an album, period. I just didn't see the purpose in it. But now I kind of understand.
And the album it's for our kids. It's for lineage. It's for what we've done. And it's the recording of our sound.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I always wanted to capture. It's one thing playing things live and letting them go, but to have a little bit of something of what we created down so others can hear it. It's like our fingerprint. And as a musician, literally vinyl is your fingerprint. And I just kind of want to leave that there, just so we not what we knew what we sounded like, but like it's just capturing something.
History.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like a photo album.
Right.
We at least did that.
40 years from now, I want to look back and go, damn, you remember this? And you remember how long it took to get that, and
right.
we were just starting our way out, and so and then and just I call them the self talks. People call them the talking heads or TED Talks or whatever, but they help not just my brother and I, and not just Scotty and Cressy and those other people that have been with us this far, but you, chat, the points that you bring up, the topics that you bring up, the replies that you say, like all that helps. And so we just got to keep it pushing with what we set out to. Hopefully it keeps people interested. And at the same time, I don't fault you if it's not your cup of tea.
Yeah.
It's just, it's one of those things where we just have to get back to what we originally wanted. That's just like the most important thing.
Well, I mean, and too, popcorn night is always cool.
Yeah. Yeah. See, things like that,
challenges are always
right,
cool.
And we can have a week to get to them, and we don't have to worry about it every day and just relax.
I tell you what, it's been 190 fucking days. 190 days.
It's a commitment.
Oh, a huge commitment. Yeah. Huge.
It just makes you wonder a lot. If you commit yourself to 365 days of anything without missing a day, no matter rain, shine, or sickness, it draws a lot of questions to your mind. And it's done exactly that for me. It gave me a lot of questions and not so many answers. And it almost makes you feel like what the purpose of this challenge is for the individual.
I hate to say that I've become numb to it, and I'm fortunate enough where I've had breaks, right? These two every day. But even then, I've been here for the majority of it, and it's not that I'm numb to it anymore. I think what we had said it before. I'm glad we're doing it because it keeps me accountable to the thing that I love doing, and that's playing the bass. Yeah. And I have elevated my game so far, not just the playing portion, but my ear training, the tonality. Yeah. I heard Scotty play some shit, and I had to trust myself. That's where I heard that note.
And you were getting it. You went straight to that note. Straight to it.
Yep, and I couldn't do that before.
And I threw that in for a fucking challenge and you passed.
Yeah. But
yes, what?
Yeah. Well, thank you, Scotty. And the bigger thing was I didn't fight it, and my muscle memory, my ear memory,
that ear hustle
said, hey, that note is right here.
Yeah.
You know, like right there. You've played it so many times. And I find myself not just randomly playing the note, which I'll sometimes do, but I'm starting to listen. And then I think when you listen, you know the vocabulary. I know I can find that expression at this fret,
Right.
at that octave, you know? And that's the amazing part, like to witness yourself transform to a musician. Like before, yeah, I was a musician, but now I can really say, man, I'm getting better.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. When you're starting to hear the difference yourself, because that's a very difficult thing to hear, because you're sort of doing it day in, day out, day in, day out. But when you do something like that and think, fuck, I just went straight to that. It feels so good.
Yeah.
It's just like, I didn't even think about that. I had to think about it a little bit, but I got there. Yeah, you went straight to it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I mean, I started learning more about arpeggiations, and I didn't know what, I mean, I knew how to arp on the hydrosynth, but you hear my arps now on the hydrosynth, and they're night and day from when I first got the machine. And now Scotty's got us in stereo, and we're hearing our music in stereo. Like, that's how new we are to this, where it takes people to educate us and go, okay, your sound is nice, but have you heard it like this?
Yep.
And have you tried this?
Some of your stuff is in mono. We got to get you out of that.
Right. You know, I think it just takes people to want to help people and talk to people and understand what they're trying to do and where they're trying to go in life. You know, there's no way we would have, I don't think anybody new to anything can just read a book and know it all without some sort of help from somebody who's done it for years.
You would have got there, but it would take a lot longer because you're kind of fumbling your way through it.
Right.
Because generally that's what I was like when I was younger, because there was no YouTube, there was no anything. You were sort of buying magazines and reading little bits and clips here and there and various audio books and things like that. But you are generally just fumbling your way through it. So when you've got someone or people there that can say to you, try this, it's like it could save you 4 or 5 months of fumbling about just to be told that do that and it'll sound better.
Right.
Which is it's very valuable, any kind of advice like that. I got so much when I was at college from guys that had been engineering for years, and they would just say, oh no, just do that with that and it'll fix it. And it's like, oh, and I'd been at it for hours trying to fix a specific sound, but a guy that's been at it at the time, he'd been at it for probably 40, 50 years and said, just do that and it'll fix it. Oh,
yeah.
Fuck.
Well, it's the whole thing of why watch a man fight trying to reinvent the wheel when the wheel's been invented? Let me just help him come along. Like, you don't have to do the struggles that our forefathers have done. You know, you it's the whole thing. I think Davey said it best a couple days ago on his channel. He's like, what's so hard and what's so wrong about learning? Why do you want to struggle?
Oh, her channel.
I mean, her channel. Why do you want to struggle? You know, why would you do that when we have teachers? And I think you have to step outside of yourself and just ask and get the help.
You see what Viral's saying there? He says, that's what being on YouTube did for me. It really filled in the musical gaps of my knowledge. And I explored synthesis in a way I never would have.
Yeah.
Then there's the community, which is unmatched when a bunch of us get together during streams, etc. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's priceless. It really is. It's invaluable.
Yep.
Yeah, and it really depends on how someone's going to teach you too. Like Scotty, that guy who was talking to you, he didn't come off and be like, you stupid fucking idiot. How did you get this fucking far?
Yeah, it was like a very small comment for him to tell me that, but it was such a big thing for me because I'd been trying to get it for so long.
Yeah.
And then he said, look, your best thing is do this, do that, and it's done. Oh, right, okay.
Right.
And you always do feel a bit stupid, but it's the same in any job. Even if you're in a job, you'll have been the same when you were learning how to do your farrier work.
Right.
Sometimes you do feel stupid because it looks so simple, but the reason it looks so simple is because the guy that's shown you is so experienced. It's the same with everything in life.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what it is. It's hoping that you run into the right person, you know? I mean, I couldn't imagine. I mean, with this whole YouTube trip, we've never really ran into someone negative throughout this experience.
Right.
Who who was just so evil and mean and just, didn't have the want to help you, just wanted, to see you fail. I think everybody wants to help, but they help in their own way.
Yeah.
And sometimes it could be the right way, and sometimes it can be the not so right way where it has elements of things you want and elements of things you don't want, Like you said, that's part of life too.
Yeah.
Picking and choosing and understanding what's for you. But yeah, after this challenge, I gotta say we'll probably be like maybe 2 to 3 days a week, and enjoying time with the wife, time with the family. Get out and do some.
I was just gonna say that too. Get out and just go outside and get from behind the phones and get from behind the camera and just there's another life to be had outside of it. And I think just getting some balance. I think that's the key word.
Yeah.
It's just balance. And I think everybody needs it. Shit, even the people that just go to channels and just watch, right? They'll consume themselves with tons of material, but at some point they fail to have that balance to go, you know what? I need to go out and look at nature, go do some fishing, go camping.
Yeah, even just sit outside and have a barbecue, something. Just
Something.
get outside.
Yeah. I think that's what this challenge is really taught me. This 365, man. One, it's like it's a digital life and it's needed because this is how you make friends. I never would have made friends with anybody right here, right now.
Yep.
Especially in it, on this screen. And it's like, that's one of the beautiful things about a digital life. But then there's also a negative thing about it, that your life and your time is worth a lot, and if you're spending your life hours on the wrong commodities per se.
It's not negative. It's just a priority
right.
thing.
You just have to realize you don't get that life currency back.
Right.
And we don't have a lot of it.
Not every minute's a dollar spent, as they say.
Right.
Yeah.
So it really, I'm just saying, for this experience, it's really taught me something about myself, and it's taught me about social media and why I do the things I do and why it's important to me and why it's not important to me. And it's also teaching me, hey, look, this is not what I want to do for the rest of my life. And I really need to find balance with more than just this. It's teaching me to find balance within everything in life. And
too much of anything
too much
is a
of
bad
anything
thing.
can burn you out or
Yeah.
take you down a different direction.
But this is the test of the time, though. This is what we've never had in our lives at the same time. I never had this much commitment.
Right.
That I've literally had to wake up and choose to do.
Yeah.
Right? This kind of commitment is not something that's just granted. Like, you have to wake up, like happiness. You have to wake up and choose to be happy. Happiness is just not some kind of fucking outfit you can just put on and go, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, we have to choose these things.
Yeah. Jules said nature can give you massive ideas for sound.
100%. Yeah.
100%.
Could
when I
not
was
agree
out,
more.
right, when I was out cutting this 4 acres of lawn, oh my God, as much as I dreaded it, I was happy that I had 4 acres of lawn to cut.
Yep.
And then to watch the birds dive in front of me to get the crickets and the worms that were coming up out of the ground, and to watch the cars go by and to see the creek water running every time I take the mower past it and see the neighbors out. I was like getting so many ideas in my mind about sound and music. So, you dead on point with that. Like, just being out in nature, it induces something in the mind.
I take it there was no bats because you would have jumped off that
Well,
wall and
not yet.
sprinted
For
a mile.
But when we leave this fucking studio, Scotty,
Oh,
I'll tell
summertime
you
is
what,
coming.
Summertime is
coming.
back, and fucking bats, man. You had to remind me about that shit.
I hate. This is why we make it a point to like walk the trash down to the
Before the
road
sun goes
before
down.
the sun goes down.
You learn to do a whole lot of things
Before the sun goes
before
down.
the sun goes down in Indiana.
You're like upside down vampires, really, because they get inside when the sun comes up, but you go out when the sun comes. Yeah, the other way around. Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have bats in Scotland.
Yes. Yeah. We have them in the back garden here, but they're really small ones we've got here. They're like maybe the size of a little mole or a tiny mouse.
Oh, okay. Fruit bats.
Fruit bats, then, or something.
They're just, I don't know what we call them. They're not like these giant ones that you see overseas.
Yeah. We got medium-sized lawyers. That's what I call them, lawyers.
Because they suck the freaking life out of you.
Viral Beach, yeah, you live in the Pacific Northwest. The wife and I lived there for 3 years, and that's a very beautiful area in the Pacific Northwest. You can find inspiration there very easy.
As we saw on his live, he was out there playing his MP3 in holes next to a lake.
Yeah, that was a good live he did. Before we go, I want to say this. When you're at a campground at night and you're with your friends and there's no television and shit, maybe there's no music, but am I the only one who can get lost
In a fire.
and staring at a fucking fire?
It's nature's TV, my boy. It's nature's TV.
100%. We have a front room in this house, and we don't have a TV in it because that's all we have in there is the sofa, a hi-fi, and a real fire.
Oh,
and when we set
nice.
that in the winter time, me and Shona can sit there just chatting and staring at that fire for hours.
What is it about
I don't
a
know what it
fire
is.
that makes it so magic?
It's like hypnotizing.
It is.
Yeah.
And it sets the ambience. I always thought that there was something within us, coded within us, when we stare to look at it. Like maybe this went back.
Our ancestors.
I think that's exactly what it is, because fire meant food, warmth.
Yep.
It was it was life, really, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Once
it
somebody
was.
worked out how to light a fire, it was like, wow.
Yeah, Jules says she
Life-changing.
can hear every crackle.
Yep.
Yep.
You know what?
And you got to imagine back then. It's only proof in the pudding. You can imagine back then they stared at it the way we stare at it now.
Right?
They stared at it and lost, like, in reflection and memory in the future. And they had these things, how they were going to hunt, and they contemplated around it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it brought comfort at night too, because they were up against elements.
Well, and it protected them as well. There's Bicky saying, yeah, spot on, Bicky. It was survival, because they would light fires to keep any kind of threat away from them on a night time. If it was lions or whatever it may well be, lions just wouldn't go anywhere near fire.
Right.
Because they look at that as a hazard. We look at it as a
means.
It's a major plus
tool.
for us, unless it goes wrong, obviously. But yeah, it was definitely survival fire.
Right. And I wonder, there was a guy, I watched an interview, and he said, play some drone music and sit in front of a fire and stare at that fire and try your best to isolate your mind without thinking about anything. Just find quiet. And he was like, it was some of the trippiest thing. No drugs, no nothing. But it put him in such a weird, meditative,
Tranquil state.
euphoric state.
Yep.
And he's like, he almost felt like he was becoming one, like he just started hearing the environment around him more and just honing in on natural instinct.
Let me tell you something right now, okay? You look damn like me. Looking at you right now is like, why am I looking at myself talk? And why do I sound so good? What the fuck is going on? What the hell's going on, Scott? I'm going to introduce this dude to some Irish Spring soap because it talks so good.
But he doesn't. He talks so good, but doesn't smell so good.
Well, he don't smell so hot. Maybe if I clean him up, maybe if I clean myself up, Scotty, that's what I'm.
George, geez, now that's a fire. Eddie Murphy, Delirious. What a film that is.
Oh,
Yeah.
my God.
Oh, my
yeah.
God.
What did Jack say? Jack said, I like to put a pine cone in the fire even after it's all burnt up. The shape remains intact. Looks
really?
wild.
Oh,
Really?
wow. I didn't know that.
So it just ashes up and it just stays
I know
that way.
I know they crackle like beyond belief.
Becky's like, they've switched sides. I've just realised.
Yeah, we did, Bicky.
Yeah, we did, honestly.
You're forgiven, Bicky, because they get confused themselves.
Hell
Lamont,
yeah.
Lamont was thinking there was a lag on the video because he was moving his arm about 4 or 5 days ago. But Lamar's arm wasn't moving, and Lamont thought it was his. Very good.
On this, listen to me. I can't tell myself apart if I'm just glancing down. I'm like, what the fuck? This is why I'm looking at this dude going, yeah, look at me talk. Look at me go.
And you know what's funny, Scotty? I was going to wear that shirt.
Of course you were.
And then I said, no, I think he's going to wear that shirt. And I sat in the closet for like 2 minutes. I shit you not. And I was debating with myself on what shirt should I wear.
And the only reason why I'm wearing the black one is because I already had a tank top in the gray one, and I already had a tank top on. So I was like, the black one it is. But I had the gray one in hand.
Right? And I had the black one in hand.
Oh, you see there?
I literally had the black one in hand. And I was like, well, she did just wash this one. Maybe I wear the gray one more time. And I was like, you know what? I'm absolutely sure. And this is what I said before I came out of the room. I'm absolutely sure he's going to wear the black one. Came out, got in the studio first, and he comes out, and he's wearing the black shirt. And I'm like, oh, that's so fucking scary.
There you go.
That is so scary.
So you guys classed as identical twins or no?
Yeah, identical mirror twins.
Mirror twins, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah, so fucking freaky.
It doesn't matter, man. If we wear similar, here's one thing we're gonna do. We're gonna go out. We're gonna wear the exact same fucking thing, and it does not matter, Scotty.
No.
100 people will ask us, "Are you guys twins?"
Yeah.
No way.
And I'll say that makes you 79,826 to ask the question, and then I'll move on to the next person. That makes you 79,827 to ask the question. Or we'll say, actually, you know what the weird thing is? We met yesterday and we were like, let's just dress up and see how many people think we're twins,
Right?
and they believe it.
And they believe it.
And they believe it.
I go, I've never met this dude before in my entire life until today. And they fucking believe it.
Oh,
eat it right.
They're so gullible.
One dude was even like, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Like, isn't that wild? Somebody looks like you.
And happens to wear the same thing. And we were like, yeah, that is wild. That's a doppelganger, right? And they were like, yeah, but look, you're wearing the same.
It's like you.
It's just like you want to stop them and say, you twat.
Get your head out of your ass, man.
Biscuit dad used to be a twin. Okay.
Identical twin as well.
Identical.
Well, there you go, Biscuit.
Elytra's like, I was always looking like, nah, it's me.
Is it one generation or two that it skips?
I think it skips like 2 or 3, no?
Well, so we have Elmer and Elmer and Ulmer, which I think I have the picture.
Yeah.
I'll find it, of our Irish set of twins back in 1920 something, 1930 something. And then there was my brother and I, and then there's our cousins
Summer and
Sky on the Irish side in Colorado. And then that is it as far as I know. I don't think they have kids that are twins. Or they would have said something. Or if they have, I don't think Sky and Summer have kids, do they?
I don't know.
But yeah, I think it may skip.
I want to say 2 to 3 because that means it skipped us.
It skipped a lot because.
It skipped a lot. Yeah.
Come on, Uncle Chrome, you should know the answer to this.
Yeah.
Let me have a look. Let's see.
I know it's still a rarity.
How many generations?
I used to trip out on triplets.
Twins.
Right?
I used to
Yeah.
think twins was freaky, but triplets?
Triplets or quadruplets.
Jeez. Yeah, quads are something else too, but triplets?
Well, it says here the notion that twins always skip a generation is a myth. While fraternal twins can run in families due to genetic predispositions or hyperovulation, which is releasing more than one egg per cycle, this doesn't mean they always skip a generation. A person who has a twin sibling may pass on this same gene for hyperovulation to their daughters. But it's more likely that the gene will be expressed in someone who ovulates, making it appear as if the twins skipped a generation. Ah, okay. So you guys could, if you have daughters, I know you do, Lamont. It says it's sons you've got, Lamar, isn't it?
Yep.
Or is it? Yeah.
Yep. Both boys.
But it's said there that you could certainly pass it on to your daughter, so she could have twins.
Yeah, that's
Damn.
wild.
So, well, I mean, out of both daughters I have, they can have twins if they decide to have kids.
Yeah, it's a trippy thing.
Hey, Steve Elbows.
We dated twins once.
We did.
No
yeah.
way, did you?
Yeah, we did.
Identical twins.
Yeah, they were
Yeah.
identical.
Holy fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
They were so long ago.
Yeah, but the one
I
think-
didn't really date the other one though. I was just
Yeah.
like friends with her.
Yeah, the one I was dating, she was crazy.
She was crazy.
She was crazy
as hell.
Shit. She lived in
I
a soap.
seen-
She lived in a soap opera.
I seen how crazy she was. I was like, I'm definitely not getting involved with your sister.
I was like, this is a bad idea.
She thought she lived in the movie or some shit.
Yeah.
Literally.
The way
Have
she
one,
would talk to
have
me.
one of you ever stepped in for the other on a date that you just did not want to go back and
No,
date again?
No, because we had different taste in women.
Right, okay.
But, however,
Because I do believe that happens.
oh, I'm sure it
Yeah.
does.
Oh, yeah. for
And
sure.
we could have easily have done that, but the one time I needed him the most was when I didn't understand, or the math wasn't clicking with me literally to pass our high school diploma. It was like an equivalent, like a GED,
Equivalency.
because we didn't graduate high school. We just went. We dropped out of high school and went straight into a medic program, and we ended up needing to get a diploma for law enforcement training.
Mm-hmm.
And he took the math course for me. He took my ID.
Yeah, that bastard. I took his ID. Well, I don't know if I want to say this shit on.
It happened already. He took my ID and he went in there and passed the test
And
for
did
me.
better on his shit than I did on mine. I was like, the fuck am I doing? The hell am I doing?
Super.
I even came out of there like, what the fuck was my problem?
Yeah, that shit. I was like, and when he came out, I was like, well, did I pass?
Son of a bitch.
He was like, damn, you got a high ass score too. I was like, yes.
Yeah. Fuck, man.
Yeah, that was an amazing experience for them
I think
to
I
take.
even said that. I think I was like, you know what? Just stop, man. I'm going to go in there and take it for you.
But for him to look at the ID and
And
look
go,
at
yeah,
you,
yeah, that's that guy.
that's him. Like, why would it not be you? You know?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Why would it not be you?
Yeah.
It's not like there's someone else walking
I
in
don't
behind
even think
you.
I don't even think the person was even paying attention to. I
Yeah.
just put the ID down. He just like looked at it and was like, "Here you go." And I just went and sat down.
Yeah. Were you nervous when you went in
No,
there?
I was like, I was excited to get the test, and I was
Yeah.
just like, "I'm gonna fucking get the fuck out of here."
Yeah.
And I was the first one up and out. And he looked at me like, "God damn, that was fast."
Yeah, because
But
you'd
yeah.
already done it.
Yeah, I had already done it. And I knew which ones I got wrong last time because I would like diagnose my shit like, that was the wrong fucking answer on question 10. If I only had a second chance, wait, I know. I'll take my twin brother's spot. Yeah, twat. That's what.
You know what? I'm glad you did, because I took the math test and I failed it, and I think you only get
Another crack. And then
another crack, and you gotta
all
take
the,
like
all the test over.
all the test over. Oh no, you had to get tutored
Oh yeah,
and then
yeah.
and we didn't have time
We
for
didn't
all
have
of that.
time for that.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So he's like, fuck it, I'm going to go in there and do it. And we debated it, and we were like, fuck, what if you get caught?
We did not. It was not that big of a deal.
I was like, what if you got caught? I forgot who I was telling. I think I was telling Mom, like, man, what if he goes in there and gets figured out? But nope. And I was like, right with your right hand.
Like, how did they know that?
I know. But
However, when I went to take the polygraph at said law enforcement agency, they were like, have you ever done anything illegal and bad in your time as recent as yada yada? And I'm like, no, fuck no. Hell no. I'm an angel.
lied his ass off.
Hey, I got past it.
I went in there telling the 100% of the truth. And they were like, you're lying. And I'm like, what the fuck? I guess I'm not supposed to be on this path.
Jesus Christ. Criminy. Hey. Well, I don't know. But this is the whole point of why we were, I kind of missed that. We just shot the shit for, 30, 40 minutes, and it felt good to go back to doing that again.
Yeah.
And in about 2 more months, we're going to be looking out this French doors and looking at fireflies.
I know. I'm just looking out the doors now and seeing how well the grass looks. I'll get a picture tomorrow. I know you like your grass, Scotty. You got a fucking fantastic lawn.
Not this year, I don't. It's a bit of a mess this year. I need to get in about it again this year. We have to scarify. I think I mentioned this to you before. We get a lot of moss in the grass. And if we don't keep on top of it, it just goes crazy. And it's just with the cold, damp weather all the time. That's what does it, especially over the winter time. But yeah, my scarifier broke down last year, and I meant to get it fixed over the winter. We weren't able to use it last year. And then
Your what? Say it again?
Scarifier. It's basically like looks like a lawnmower, but all it is the drum that you would get on a lawnmower, like on one of these bladed ones. Oh, what the hell's happened there? What did I do with my camera? Hello? Down here, matey. Yeah, it's like one of these bladed ones. It's just, I think it thinks that lights my face.
Oh, the heat signature could probably be a...
Hello? Follow my hand. Yeah, but the scarifier is like, I'm just trying to find, there is a hand tracking thing here. Here we go. There we go. Down you come, down you come.
There you go, sonny boy.
Jesus.
So we got to look forward to that.
I've got to get set and sussed on this thing, I think. Yeah, so basically it looks like a lawnmower, but the cylinder you would get in a lawnmower, it's got blades on it that basically they're just vertical blades that they leave like grooves in your lawn, but they actually comb all the moss out but leave the grass there.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so you put like, we spray iron down. It's like iron sulfate. So you mix that with water, put it on a backpack, just like a backpack sprayer like you would use for weeding. And we spray the whole lawn with that, and then all the moss goes black, but the grass goes really green.
Okay.
And it kills all the moss off. Then you go over it with a scarifier, and we end up with bags and bags of moss from our back, because my back lawn's not as big as yours, but it's a decent size. It's a decent sized lawn, but it's not like your size lawn. Christ, you've got a fucking town.
That's a fucking village. That guy's cutting a village out there.
Yeah, there's very few properties in the UK with a lawn the size of yours. That is for sure. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it took me 3 hours. 3 hours, some weed whacking, and some weeding.
That's
makes good compost. Bicky's saying it makes good compost. It does, actually.
It does.
That's amazing that moss just takes over like that. I know, like it in the.
If we don't keep on top of it, just your lawn's gone.
So I watch a lot of those travel channels where people are out in the wilderness and they go camp and they fish. And I've watched this one guy in Scotland, and he's out doing his thing, and he's like in the thick of it, like out in the mountains and the prairies, and everything that he walks in is moss, and it's just like super mucky. Yeah. And it's wet, and he's like, you could never find a flat spot truly to camp out in these parts, and like it's the land is so unforgiving.
Yeah.
You know?
The moss in the grass in your lawn isn't quite like that stuff, because that stuff that you're talking about really, it's like a sponge. It really holds the water, and you'll step on it and the water actually squelches out of it. But the stuff in the back garden, it's really just, a lot of people just leave it because it looks okay. But I prefer grass. I just prefer the look of the grass.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Jules said I spent 6 months in Scotland and saw a few.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Well, Azio say,
Whereabouts in Scotland were you, Joe?
Azio likes concrete now.
I'm a big fan of what do they call it, Azio? Do they call it zero landscaping or something like that, where you just use like rocks and
Yeah, like rockeries and things like that.
yeah, sand and stuff. I wish I could do that.
See, even in the UK, we would struggle with that, or certainly in Scotland, because it is so damp, everything would just go green.
Mm. What did you say?
Grishnish.
Greshnish.
Grishnish.
Krishnish. God damn you, rabbit.
How far is that from you, Scotty?
I'm trying to think where that is. Grishnish. It must be way up north. Grishnish.
Oh yeah, there you go, rabbit. Zero Scape is done in Vegas.
Yeah, Zero Scape.
Yeah.
Oh, was it Treshnish? Treshnish Isles.
Mm.
Because they're beautiful. Rocks, no grass.
Yeah.
Grishornish. That must be Grishornish. Grishornish. It's on Skye. Yeah, the Isle of Skye. Christ, that's beautiful up there.
Mm.
Yeah, the Isle of Skye, that is, Joe. Yeah, it's beautiful up there. So you'll have seen Elandonnan Castle and things up there. It's stunning.
Spell it, Scotty.
Elandonnan Castle.
Gresh.
Or it's Greshornish. So it's Greshornish. And it's on the Isle of Skye, but the Skye is spelt with an E. So it's Skye. Beautiful place. Me and Sean had done a whole tour of the Skye in the car. Oh, maybe 5 or 6 years ago. Beautiful, beautiful place. You get the fairy pools, and there's so much on the Isle of Skye to go and see, and Neast Point and all this. If you look up, I'll send you some links to some of the stuff on the Isle of Skye. It's absolutely stunning. We'd never been that neck of the woods until 5 or 6 years ago. We took a drive up and just done a whole sort of 7-day tour, and we'd done it properly. We camped in tents, me and Sho. So we were setting a tent up every night. It was great. Quite wet on nights, but it was great.
They got windmills out there too. We're looking at here on this big old peninsula.
Rabbit's asking how you like your new spot in the Monkey Island.
Much better, isn't it?
I'm in love. Yeah, it's nice. So
yeah, if you look up Neast Point and you look at that in Google Images, it's me and Shona have walked right out to the end of that, and it's hellish steep.
Damn.
And it's spelled Neist Point. So it's November Echo Indigo Sierra Tango Point. That's on the Isle of Skye as well.
Hit the X. It's faster.
I was just gonna leave it on Scotland.
Yeah.
Spell it again, Scotty.
It's N-E, so November Echo Indigo Sierra Tango, and then space point, as in point your finger at something. Stayed in a castle for the whole time. How cool, Joe.
Yeah, in a castle. That's dope. Was it cold as hell in that castle?
It's very windy there. It can get extremely windy on Skye.
Oh wow, that whole cliff just angles up, huh? And there's a little.
Yeah, you can see the pathway that runs all the way through it.
Yep.
And you can walk all the way out. Me and Shona walked all the way out to that lighthouse at the end, which was bought over by some guy from down south, and he converted what used to be the buildings of whoever ran the lighthouse. It was like a living area. And he converted them into little sort of, you could rent a room for the night and just go out and stay on the end of that. But there was a whole shitstorm when he bought it over. He was trying to close down all the pathways out to it and say, well, I now own this whole leg of this land. And the islanders just went, no, you don't. And they drove him out. And it's now a derelict lighthouse with, you can, even the bottles of, the boxes of cereal and bottles of milk are all still in the rooms as they were left, because everybody was basically told we're no longer open, we're closing down. It's crazy. Yeah, he was driven out. He was trying to say that nobody could park their cars and go walking out there anymore, and it's been such a beauty spot for years. He basically just pushed it too far, really.
Right.
But it was a hellish walk. It was a real proper. It doesn't look that much when you see it from there, but it's. Yeah,
a lot of deviation in the land.
Oh, and when you come back, which you don't see, but where the photograph is taken from, it's like a steep incline and it steps all the way down. Then you do this walk, and then you come back from the walk and you have to climb all these steps all the way back. It was like, holy shit. Me and Shona were breathing out our assholes.
Hey.
Oh, there's my camera having a little detour again for some reason.
Hey.
Rabbit said Moser and Cornish going to get a room there.
Yeah, fuck you, we are. Yes, we are.
Yes, you will.
Okay, let me just see
They will
here.
be there, Rabbit.
Let me see here. Hotels.com, hotels.yeah.
Turn off tracking. Yeah, stay there. That's Steve Elbow saying it's my hand gestures when I'm talking that makes the camera go crazy. So I'll just sit like this in future.
So what Steve is saying, stop being so fucking animated.
Yeah, animated. I'm all right. I've switched it off now.
Damn, so maybe we can. I don't know. I don't know if we can invest in them now. Maybe she'll come up with a way.
Yeah, because it looked like there was only a USB-C output on your. There was no inputs for it. But I don't know whether you can buy like a USB-C to HDMI crossover. There may be something like that you can use. I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah.
Put your hands in your pants.
Put your hands in your pants.
Then smell them. Fucking love it.
You got to put all four fingers together, curl them, and then smell them. That's right. Rabbit must do that shit a lot.
He must. He's got it down.
Nasty bastard.
That's your dinner ready, guys.
Okay, dinner's ready. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. We will be back at it tomorrow, of course. What we'll do, I have no fucking idea. More than likely, we're probably going to bring up a topic and speak on it. Crazy Rabbit remembers what we used to do back in the day, and we're going to get back to that. And now we have another co-host with us who's going to be here as much as he can. But after this dreadful challenge,
Dreadful.
we'll be going back to some regular hours.
Yeah. to your regularly scheduled program. So, all right, everybody.
It's been good.
Good night and good fight.
And good
Yeah,
fun.
nice jam, guys, as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was a
fun.
lovely jam.
I can't wait to figure that one out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's got serious potential, that one.
it does.
yeah, for real.
It does. Yeah.
Night,
Okay.
Steve.
Oh, Steve Elbows. She's working on that AI channel, and I think we should have it up either tonight or tomorrow. So stand by for that. Good night, John.
Night, Becky.
Bicky. I can't believe Bicky is still up.
Good night, Vicky. Night, John.
Yeah.
It's starting to sound like the Waltons now. Night, John
Yeah.
boy.
Not John. Night, Ned.
Night, Net.
Like the what's the name?
The Three Amigos.
The Three Amigos. Yeah.
Good night, Barry Allen.
Even the turtle got like a good night, right?
Yeah.
The turtle said, "Night, Ed."
Yeah. Oh shit. The burning bush. Fire, 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 fire. Fucking that. All right, we'll see you
Yeah, see you later, guys.
later.